Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, August 20th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. So each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol VRAX. Crazy mover today, and this is all about perspective. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought up there and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then from that perspective the chart looks really, really bad. But if you assume, if you care about the bigger picture of things, then overall there's still some patterns and such that you could take advantage of, and let's get those mapped out. So the first key dynamic here, let me change that to green for support, is there does seem to be quite a few buyers hanging right down there around $4.55. You can see a couple times this morning the price was down there, and then again later on this afternoon, price several times down around that level. So does that mean that 455 is a guaranteed level to continue to provide bounces? No such thing as a guarantee. Would it be plausible of somebody to say, you know what, if it goes to 455, I'm going to buy because I think a good bounce? Yeah, that's certainly plausible. Not guaranteed to happen, but nobody could accuse them of just doing some sort of, degenerate random thing. No, there is some logic behind that. So pullback area, if you like to play that situation or just, factor in supports or trade plans, 455, I would say, is definitely a key level there. And then in regards to areas of resistance, pretty interesting resistance trend line right there. That's, kind of just illustrated the pullback that's occurred, pretty much from the afternoon on throughout the course of the day. So again, no such thing as a guarantee, but certainly valid to think that if the price can come up here and break through that trend line, that break right there could create additional buying pressure. But all in all, good volatility today, good volume. We'll see if it carries into Tuesday. Next one, MAXN. This one had kind of gone quiet, not kind of, it did go quiet, and then today woke up. And a lot of people are talking about it once again, so let's get this pattern here mapped out. First part of the pattern, that resistance area right there, and then as far as support portion of it right there. So let me change that to green again, and then maybe to make the pattern easier to see, let me keep it to one color. So we have resistance, we have support, we have the big explosive move right here. So this would be a bull flag pattern. Now let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because it's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to move upwards. But would it be, is it reasonable? Would it shock anybody if this thing maybe consolidated around and then got a big move to the upside? No, I don't think that would catch anybody off guard because it is a bull flag pattern. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull flag patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, APDN, and we have several that are going to be taking this shape in terms of analysis. So I want to go through them relatively quickly. I want to respect your time, but maybe you're saying, this kind of looks like that first one of VRAX, and you would be correct. There's a pretty well-defined area of support right here at $1.47. You can see a couple times this morning, and then this afternoon a couple times, and then there's also a well-defined resistance trend line, which let me get that in play right there, and you can see that we once again have if you're an area where if you're someone that likes to play breakouts, you have a very well-defined level there. So like I said, very, very similar in pattern, and there's going to be a couple other ones that look like this. But nonetheless, if you like these patterns, if you like these situations, you like stocks down below the $5 range, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, TNXP, and what an ugly, ugly looking chart. But for you longer time viewers, you know what I'm going to say next. There can be opportunity in the ugly. And these are these situations where if you're not going to be disciplined, if you're not going to manage risk, you shouldn't be trading in the first place, but you definitely shouldn't be trading situations like this. But from a risk-reward scenario, these can also provide some very, very unique opportunities, with the main opportunity being down here at the 40-cent mark. So clearly, price was up here, looking great, and then, I think that some poor souls bought right there. I hope they were using stop losses and managing risk, but after there, it is dropped and dropped and dropped, and now in my mind it goes back to just a very basic pattern that's out there, the double bottom pattern. You have bottom number one right there. So if this thing can just get a little bit more ugly, if this thing can come down just a little bit more, it becomes a very valid question to throw out there. Hey, is this bottom number two, and can this produce a bounce to the upside? Now, to be very clear, it may not. It maybe just keeps on bleeding and collapsing, hence me saying you better be ready to cut the loss because you don't want to turn into a bag holder on this. But even if it just bounces slightly relative to what was being risked in the first place, that's where I circle back to a nice little risk versus reward scenario. So if you like these opportunity ugly situations on penny stocks, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, ticker symbol NVDA, and the beast move just continues. I can zoom that out and you can see that, just kind of a case of deja vu and broken record mode in terms of me continuing to analyze this one, and I say the same things: higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. And yes, once again, I'm here to say higher highs and higher lows. So first update comes about just on a basic rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So 124.50 is a new level of support. But I'm going to go ahead and adjust this level up, and I should note that assuming you're bullish, whenever levels of support need to be adjusted in the upwards direction, that's always a good thing. So the first ideal level, 126.25, would be that ideal level of support. You say, Clay, what makes this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? Definitely if the price can stay above there. With that being said, if the price falls below it, not the end of the world. The chart's not destroyed. From the overarching standpoint, just keep an eye on the purple line right there, the 50 period simple moving average, keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is just going to move itself higher and higher. It's basically a trend line that's drawn itself for you. So therefore, as long as the price stays above the overall trend line, then overall the trend is still plenty in the bull's favor. In terms of levels of resistance, nothing fancy or complicated here. Literally just a basic question: where did the party finally stop today? And it finally stopped right up there at the 129.40 mark. So for that reason, and that reason alone, is why I'd call that the key area of resistance. But at the end of the day, as long as this thing keeps on putting those higher highs and higher lows, that is what matters most. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage here you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one, FUBO, and this is going to be one of these patterns that I've talked about. So the third one here where we have a big old drop off. So we have this situation where at one point the price was all the way up here. Now it's pulled all the way back here, but it's found some support. You can see the support from this morning and then support this afternoon. And now it's just a question of, can this thing get turned around and start breaking through some key levels. Now this one's a little bit different because I would more so call the key level resistance right here at 204. So not necessarily a trend line resistance, but just because we have a pretty, at least in my mind, clear level. I mean, a number of times the price got right up around that area and just could not quite push through it. Now, to be fair, maybe you're just like, well, Clay, I'd rather just buy right here, come up here, and I don't really care if it breaks through there or not. And even if it gets rejected, well, my plan all along was to buy here and sell at the top of this channel. I mean, of course, that's a way you could approach this too. There's many ways where you can approach these, but my goal here is just to map out some of the key technical levels and then allow you to apply whatever your personal risk tolerance and personal strategy is. But moral of the story here, big surge up, nasty move down. At least it's getting some support. So if it bounces, can it get up there and then break through 204? We'll see what happens. Next one, ALZN, and this one, same general idea, but definitely some differences here. Very, very impressive start. Opening 30 minutes, big green candle, got up as high as there. Some poor souls bought right there. And then it's been bleeding essentially ever since. But this is now where if this thing can get a little bit more ugly, bleed a little bit more, the price is now getting within striking distance of two of these very key, very well-known moving averages. You know the purple line is the 50-period moving average, and then the big brother of the 50-period moving average, the pink line, the 200-period moving average. Once more, no guarantees, but it would not shock anybody if the price were to, get a little bit more ugly, come down around this area, and then get some sort of bounce in the upwards direction. And once more, when I say bounce, I don't mean a full-blown reversal, because relative to what's being risked, you don't even need that big of a bounce, and then you start to have some very favorable numbers within that risk versus reward equation. But moral of the story here is if you like these situations where things were looking really strong, now they're looking really ugly, but they are approaching some interesting technical levels that suggest there could be a bounce, then this one definitely fits all those bills. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and literally just if you go back and watch Friday's video, you'll see that this all played out. In fact, I was kind of throwing up some jokes about, well, we had this bull pennant pattern and it broke out. Then we had this bull pennant pattern. Let's see what happens on Monday. And yeah, you guessed it, that bull pattern once again broke to the upside. So I'll just get rid of those lines there. But certainly a very, very impressive trend right now. Like NVIDIA, higher highs and higher lows. At the end of the day, that's really all you can ask for. And instead of drawing in patterns, I just want to really simplify this, no pun intended, and just turn our attention to that 50-period simple moving average. And like I said earlier, Keyword being moving. So as that line moves higher and higher, just watch the trend line. And as long as the price stays above that overall trend line that, again, is drawing itself for you, then overall, the bulls are in full health. The bulls are in full control. However you want to best visualize that, in my opinion, that is what's being represented. In terms of areas of resistance, got to squeeze things down here a little bit. I know it's harder to see, but this is a good problem to have because it just illustrates it's been a long time since the price has been up around this area. But next key battleground right up there around 226.50. So keep an eye on 226.50. In fact, I'll do one more just because Tesla has been making some bigger moves with the next key level after that right up there around 233.50. But all in all, the uptrend continues, and we'll see if it carries into Tuesday. Next one, SOND. And overall, very, very nice looking chart. The one thing that gives me just a little hesitation, the last 30 minutes here, not the greatest candle that's forming, which does suggest that a pullback very well could be required. Keep in mind, before you start freaking out, pullback is not the same as a reversal. Pullbacks are totally healthy. But yeah, this candle here does suggest potential pullback here. So let's map out some areas of support. And perfectly speaking, what would be the healthiest pullback would be, if the chart can stay above that 485 mark. And this is just an area where it was an area of resistance, broke through it. Now that resistance is acting as a support, so just basic technical analysis right there. So if the price comes down there, guaranteed to bounce, no, but valid to think it could bounce from that area, absolutely. And then in regards to areas of resistance, actually have a more unique trend line where you have this right here. Meaning, in theory, the price can never break through that level of resistance, but the price could stay in an uptrend because, obviously that line has an upward slope to it. So if there is any recovery back upwards, that seems to be the most accurate area of resistance, the most accurate trend line right there. So keep a close eye on that. But all things considered, healthy day today, big volume. Yes, last 30 minutes is suggesting a pullback may be needed, but again, big picture-wise, pullbacks are healthy, and there's nothing to worry about. Next one, TQQQ, and this thing has had a very nice day. And then as I speak right now, very, very nice last 30 minutes as, not gigantic volume, but still biggest volume it's had all afternoon long. And then, right there as I speak, that nice green candle, which continues to get bigger and bigger. And that's why I like to do these when the market's open. The market does close in 4 minutes. So 4 more minutes for this candle to get even bigger. But overall, the main dynamics here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that, have already occurred. As I mentioned earlier, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So we'll change that from red to green. And then as far as the newest ideal level of support is concerned, again, that level, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest? That would be if the price can stay up to 70, above 70.20. But again, also from an overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line. As long as the price stays above that 50 period moving average, then overall the trend is perfectly fine. In regards to levels of resistance, next key battleground is this gap close location, which sits right there at the $73 mark. So you can see that there was this gap down back here. So right now it's in the middle of this gap area. Now, do gaps have to close? No, nothing has to happen. That would imply there's a guarantee. But at this point, that would be the next key, I think valid price target and area where if the price gets up there, can the price break through it? Of course it could, but I could also see it acting as resistance. But from a support resistance standpoint, $73, next key battleground. I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders, again, I want to invite you, if you enjoyed what you saw here, then definitely go get signed up for the free live webinar later this week. It'll be Thursday, August 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. And it is a genuine live event, and I say that because if you have questions, please bring them, and I'll answer them during the live Q&A session. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now on the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours and not 30 minutes. And that's because Bitcoin is open 24/7, and I want this video to remain relevant as long as possible. And by using the 4-hour time frame, it allows me to do that. So really, in all actuality, Bitcoin had a fine weekend. Nothing crazy in either direction. And that's what we're continuing to monitor, because as of now, Bitcoin is just in a pretty much big old sideways channel pattern. Now, the one thing where I completely respect, I don't know if I agree that it's a sideways channel pattern. There is a very clear downwards trend line right there, and that's actually totally fair. But I'm just looking at more so we have this flat 200 period moving average up there. But I do 100% respect and completely see where the people would argue and say, no, I wouldn't call this a downwards channel pattern because I think that light just went out. If the lighting just changed on the webcam, sorry about that. But anyway, so question number one to ask yourself, so let's say you're watching this video 20 hours after I upload it. Where's the price at relative to 57,700? As long as you're saying the price is above that area, then as far as I'm concerned, the chart is totally fine. Nothing crazy has happened at all. Because even if it's down here, then it's still well within, you know, basically the bottom part within that channel pattern. If you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below that level, next the immediate question is, okay, well, where's the price at relative to 56,100? If you were somehow answering the question that the price is down below there, that means that things have gotten very bearish since this, since I've been talking right now and doing the analysis. Now, on the flip side of things, if you're saying, well, Clay, the price is above 57,500, okay, great. And then the next question leads into just some common sense. Well, how far above it? You know, like I said, if it's right here, that's good. Not great. Now, if the price is all the way up here and it's, you know, exploded, well, then at that point, that would be telling you that, wow, yeah, that Bitcoin has really picked up a lot of momentum and things are looking really, really bullish. So common sense will take you very far, but just from a technical level, 57,700 is definitely the key level that I think matters most at this point. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to get signed up for this free class, because what you're learning about in it can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, August 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So go get signed up for it. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do a couple things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment below, tell me what you traded today, give me your watch list for tomorrow, or if you have a request for me to do an analysis of one of your positions, comment down below and I'll do my best to get to that in a future top 10 video. So thanks for watching. Go get signed up for that free webinar.